The 55 plus age group is the fastest growing part of the population right now. And because of that, in the Frederick area, there are so many senior living options that are popping up all over. And that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Eddie Brady with Showcase Real Estate here in Maryland, and I've been helping more seniors than ever transition from their homes into senior living communities. And that's why I wanted to make this video on the 5 different types of senior living in the Frederick area. And this also applies to all across Maryland. And I think this is going to be very helpful. And it's also likely that if you're watching, you're actually the child or caregiver of the senior that needs to move into one of these facilities. So stick around if that's you. This is going to be very informative so that you know the options for you and your loved one. The first type of senior living community is the age-restricted community, and this is your 55 plus that you see all over. And really the benefit to living here is that there's usually greater accessibility to your units. There are lower property taxes on most of these complexes, and really it's just a place where you can forget about the maintenance of your lawn and things like that so that you can enjoy your golden years and get out and start being active. Now, a lot of these communities have amenities like elevators to your rooms or below unit parking. So in the bottom of the buildings, there might be a garage with an elevator up to your unit, or there's single level living with villas. But when you look at more amenities and more activities, that's where you start to get into the next type of senior living, which is the independent living. Now, independent living communities are a lot like age-restricted communities, except there is so much more to do. There are educational events, there's recreational events, social events. So there's a lot of planned things that go on. There's usually a community director that helps with that. And there's usually rec rooms within the buildings themselves and pool halls and places to play games. Usually a nice clubhouse where they have events and a pool, and they even have planned trips around the area. So there's just a lot to do to keep seniors active. So this is a much more appropriate community if you or your loved one needs to stay active and needs someone to plan that for them. But if you're trying to think more into the future of what's next after independent living, well, a continuing care retirement community might be right for you or your loved one. These communities basically have it all. You start out as an independent living situation, but they have everything within that community to get all the way up to assisted living or skilled nursing care. So it's everything from start to finish so that you or your loved one doesn't have to transition from facility to facility and search every single time. And usually with these facilities, there's a buy-in, an upfront cost to buy into these so that when you do have to go into more assisted living or skilled care, you've already paid for your health care up front. There's nothing to worry about. It's all taken care of for you. Now, I will warn you, this has some of the highest upfront costs of any of the options we're going to talk about, and that's just simply because of the longevity that the resident will be living there, starting with the independent living all the way into assisted living and skilled care. So it's not a surprise, but just something to keep in mind that it is one of the highest upfront costs of all of these facilities. And the fourth type of senior living in the area is the assisted living community. This is when you or your loved one can no longer take care of themselves. And this is where there is on-site healthcare services, on-site food services, everything to make sure that you or your loved one are taken care of from start to finish. And usually an assisted living community is for those who need limited assistance with bathing and medication and meals, but not full assistance with all of those things, because that's when it comes into more of the skilled nursing or the nursing home community. There are also multiple types of nursing home communities. There are memory care facilities for Alzheimer's and dementia patients. There's also just skilled nursing communities for those that need 24/7 assistance. So there are options in the Frederick area from everything from just age-restricted communities all the way up to 24/7 nursing assistance. So it really just depends on what you or your family member will need in the future. Now, if you're watching this video and you have a loved one that needs to go into a senior living community at the assisted living level or above, I know how stressful this can be, and it's overwhelming. And I know this because I help families all of the time that need to sell their family home in order to pay for these facilities. And they usually have questions like, what do I do with all of the things in the home? How do I get rid of the junk in the home? What is the timeline? And that's what I'm here to help with. So if that's you, please reach out to me. That is what I specialize in, is helping to sell your family home and do it in a way that respects your loved one and makes sure that you get every last penny out of the home to help them in their next living facility. facility. And I know, again, this is overwhelming. So there's a lot of questions you may have. Please reach out to me. My information is listed below. You can also reach out to me on my Instagram at Eddie Brady Real Estate, and I would be happy to help you there as well. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so that you stay up to date on all of my videos about living in Maryland.